Bentar. Kedenger, salah ke headsetnya nyala tapi nggak gue masukin kuping.
Nah ini aku kasih ke boleh nggak?
Linknya ya boleh.
Iya, linknya ke
Oh,
YouTube.
ini udah langsung ke connect kok guys. Gue mute dulu.
Linknya mana sih?
Tes. Tes. Mic check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check.
Assalamualaikum.
Yes, Mike.
Mike. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jelas nggak?
Jelas-jelas.
Oke.
Di YouTube-nya gimana nih?
Nggak tahu aku YouTube. YouTube-nya apa ya, Mah? Live-nya?
YouTube-nya ada di Debate Squad, baru aku share.
Oke.
Jadi
Cek.
di YouTube kayak apa ya?
Gak ada ya, YouTube-nya emang gini ya?
Di YouTube ada yang ke YouTube deh, coba. Aku bacain teks MC gitu misalnya.
Iya. Aku ke YouTube-nya udah.
Oh, udah di YouTube.
Udah.
Ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. I am pleased to welcome you to the fun round. Gitu.
Ke delay deh.
Ada ya YouTube-nya emang
Ke delay.
Delay.
Di YouTube ada yang ke YouTube. Aku bacain teks MC gitu misalnya. Oh, delaynya lumayan
Lumayan.
ya. 1 menit. Ya.
Kok lama ya delay?
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Lama banget ya. Lumayan 1 menit. Ya nggak apa-apa sih, asal clear aja, nggak gabung-gabung gitu suaranya nanti. Kalau on cam gimana? Kalau kita on cam terus kelihatan di YouTube?
cek.
Cek. Gak kelihatan?
Gak kelihatan? Cuma aja. Udah
Suara doang
kelihatan.
Ya, aku belum.
Oh, delaynya lumayan 1 menit.
Iya.
Jadi wajar sih kalau di YouTube itu emang delay 1 menit. Jadi ya kita bisa aja udah selesai, di YouTube nanti belum. Gitu. Oke, ada lagi nggak yang perlu diurus?
Share screen-nya nggak kelihatan ya? Oh, kelihatan. Udah. Masa kalau aku share screen yang lainnya nggak kelihatan? Oh, kelihatan nih. Di pojok. Oke. Check. We're still waiting for the tabulation team to get ready for the grand final round. But before that, partisipannya masih dikit ya. Okay, let's just wait another participants to join. I have several announcements. All right. Okay. Just a quick information for all semifinalists. If you are here or if your friends are semifinalists, you might also forward this information. So first of all, I would like to give clarification towards which teams going to the grand final round, because I heard beberapa tim merasa bahwa they deserve to be in grand final round because they are in the higher standing position in tabulation teams and breaking teams. So first of all, please notice that in BP debate, we have two types of debating round. First is preliminary round, where kita mengumpulkan VP dan poin, dan lalu sistemnya nanti diurutkan berdasarkan VP dan speaker score itu, yang kemarin teman-teman sudah lihat 12 besar. Lalu types of round yang kedua adalah namanya elimination round. Nah, di babak elimination round, we are not working like collecting VPs ataupun speaker score seperti di prelim round, tapi sistemnya benar-benar sistem gugur. Jadi kalau teman-teman familiar dengan konsep nonton sepak bola, mungkin pertandingan sepak bola, nah itu sama seperti debating. Jadi kalau sudah di babak eliminasi, mulai dari babak pre-semifinal dan semifinal tadi, itu kalian tidak akan dilihat berdasarkan skor kalian yang terdahulu di babak preliminasi. Jadi tidak menutup kemungkinan meskipun kalian datang dari tim dengan standing position yang paling tinggi atau standing position yang nomor berapa tertinggi dari tim yang lolos, bukan berarti kalian pasti akan masuk ke grand final. Karena yang masuk ke grand final adalah tim yang berhasil perform dengan baik di babak pre-semifinal dan juga semifinal round. Kalau kalian kalah di semifinal dan pre-semifinal dan kalian merasa mungkin butuh kejelasan dari juri, silahkan approach jurinya. Tapi itu bukan poinnya adalah kalian tidak masuk ke grand final bukan karena poinnya dilupakan atau apa, tapi memang sistem BP seperti itu ya. Kita sudah di babak eliminasi. Saya harap teman-teman mengerti dan memahami dan tidak ada lagi mungkin kebingungan-kebingungan kenapa kemudian tim ini tidak masuk ke grand final atau seterusnya. Kalaupun ada yang mau ditanyakan atau dikonfirmasi lagi ke ketua juri, silahkan menghubungi Ayi sebagai ketua juri atau saya sebagai deputy chief adjudicator untuk make sure bahwa kita semua di sini sama-sama clear dengan all information that we got, gitu ya. Okay, thank you for listening. I hope it clarify some things yang mungkin masih membingungkan di teman-teman semifinalists. We're going to start the grand final round very soon. We already have Dio as tabulator here. Dio, you may start. Okay. But before that, let's have a quick roll call. Do we have all grand finalists here? Win Jogja.
Here, but my friend's still in the bedroom.
All right, just ask him
Okay.
to be fast. IAIN Salatiga.
Complete.
Right. Win Surabaya.
Complete.
Right. Win Jakarta.
Complete.
Okay. Win Jogja, let me know if your teammates udah balik ya.
Oke, Kak.
While waiting for the teammate of Win Jogja, we're going to start the randomizer right now, just right now. Yes, go on, Dio. All right. This is the results of the randomizer. Opening government will be Win Surabaya. Opening opposition will be Win Jogja. Closing government will be Win Jakarta, and closing opposition will be IAIN Salatiga. Okay, is anyone clear with the position? roomnya tidak akan di breakout room lagi ya, langsung di sini aja. Jadi no need to change your name, just make sure you know your position.
Okay, Kak, my team is already complete.
Alright, okay, cool. Now we'll directly proceed to the motion launch. Dio, please. Alright. Okay, in the grand final round, we're going to have maybe interesting motion. I don't know. It can be interesting. Next. So the motion is, this house believe that pharmaceutical industry should be nationalized. Pharmaceutical industry, perusahaan farmasi, contohnya Kalbe, Kimia Farma, ya you name it, perusahaan farmasi yang ada, should be nationalized. I think the motion is clear enough. Any question regarding the motion or the keywords?
Kak, can I have further information and explanation of nationalized?
To be nationalized mean it will be taken by the government, everything will be controlled under government, ya jadi punya negara, kayak gitu.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, any other question regarding the motion? Okay, if no, we're going to start the case building 15 minutes from now. The debate will start at apa tuh? 13:23, I guess, yes. Good luck for the grand finalists.
Okay, time's up. Sorry for interruption. For the opening government, who is the Prime Minister and Deputy? Opening government.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Opening government.
Halo. Halo.
Yes.
Nggak bisa.
I hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. Who is the Prime Minister and Deputy?
Prime Minister is Wafa, while the deputy will be Fatma.
Okay, thank you. For the opening opposition.
The first speaker will go to Febri and the second will be Hamdan.
Okay. So, adjudicator, shall we start the debate?
Yes, wait a minute. Do we have all the adjudicators here? Crisantus? Chris, are you here?
Yes.
All right. Safira?
Here.
Okay. Dion?
Here.
Okay. Siapa lagi? Dio ya? Dio?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Good. We can start now, LO.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the grand final round. For the motion for this round is the House believes that pharmaceutical industry should be nationalized. And for the opening government, we have the team from UIN Surabaya, and the Prime Minister is Wafa, and the Deputy Prime Minister is Fatma. And for the opening opposition is from UIN Yogyakarta. The leader of opposition is Febri Ardiansyah, and the Deputy Leader of Opposition is Hamzah Hamdani. For the closing government is from UIN Jakarta. The government member is Nadia, and the government whip is Mela. And for the closing opposition, we have team from IAIN Salatiga. The opposition member is Anissa Nur Aziza, and opposition whip is Eka Arifah Safitri. So to begin the speech, to begin the debate, we call the Prime Minister. Wafa, time is yours.
Hello, PM.
Wait a second. Okay.
All right.
Wait. So, ladies and gentlemen, this House believes that pharmaceutical industry should be nationalized. Okay, first let's talk about what is pharmaceutical industry. Pharmaceutical industry is an industry that's produced in the medical field, such as kimia, pharma, kalbe, and etc. And then what is nationalized means? Nationalized means that this pharmaceutical is taken by the government. So every single decision that the pharmaceutical industry take will be controlled by the government. So it means that the government truly could control every single aspect in this national industry. By what? By the buying the majority stock of the company. So it means that this company is owned by the government, but still managed by the private industry. All right, why this debate happen? What's the problem? So, ladies and gentlemen, we know that the status quo right now, we are in the era that's where we're in pandemic era, where COVID-19 is already make such a terror in the entire world, especially in Indonesia itself. we know that it's very, very dangerous, whereas every single people is afraid of it. There are terrified, and also it caused many negative side from this thing. And we urgently needed vaccine. We really urgently needed every single medicine that could make the citizens health, and also to make them be more relaxed for there is the vaccine itself. But these things should be bought by the citizen. But this is very expensive, right? So we want the government to control by it, to control this industry, this pharmaceutical industry, to make this price stabilize. And also we want to make the medicine in Indonesia to be more something that every single one could get like that. So we want the state to take over all the pharmaceutical industry. We want to prioritize the health over the money like that, because we know that the health is public good. The health is public interest. So we want to make it better by owning this government, by owning this pharmaceutical industry. So here I have two arguments. Here I will explain 2 points. First, how the government will take over the pharmaceutical industry, and the second is what the benefit if this pharmaceutical industry is taken over by the government. So let's move to my first point: how the government take the pharmaceutical industry. As I told you that the state or government could take over all the pharmaceutical industry by buying the majority stock of the company. What it means? It means that the stock in the pharmaceutical industry is truly is bought by the government. It means that the government already own it, but it doesn't mean that the government should it doesn't mean that government should manage it, but it's the private industry who will manage it. All right. Because by this the government will just focus on their job, but on the other hand the pharmaceutical industry itself will focus on doing this kind of thing. So we don't need to afraid that the medicine itself will be bad, because it's already it's already managed by the specialized one. Okay, that's how the government could take over the pharmaceutical industry. All right, let's move to my second argument. What's the benefit if the pharmaceutical industry is taken over by the government? So the point is the benefit is the price will be stabilized, as I told you before. Because if the government took this industry, so they will prioritize the citizen, right? If they prioritize the citizen, if they prioritize the citizen, though, so they will talk about citizen. If they know that Indonesia is developing country, that's not all of the citizen already developed, not all of the citizen is developed enough or wealthy enough, so they will think about the capability of them to buy this medicine. For example, for the vaccine or for the any kind of medicine is like that. So if this taken over by the government, so we believe that this price will be established. It means that it will be cheaper like that. Let's take to the example. There is electricity that's that's managed by the PLN, and also there's full or BBM that's managed by the Pertamina. We see that this is big BUMN or this is owned by the government, but actually they are managed by the private industry. We could see that for this we could see that this electricity it also full is very, very crucial, just like a health, because we need it every day, every single day, every single time. Who don't need this kind of thing? Who don't need electricity? Every single one needs electricity. For the entrepreneur, or even you are a housewife, you need electricity in your home every time. But But we know that this is really cheap right now. If we compare it to what we spend and also what we have must to pay, you could say that this is really cheap. And also the next one is full. We need fuel every day. If you want to go somewhere, if you want to go anywhere, then you need to use the vehicle, which is need fuel. But we see that we pay this very cheap. Like even though there's increase of the price, it's really stable. It's really stable. We see that even though there is a increased BBM, so even though the this oil is like yeah increase, so it's not much. It's about 100 105,000 etc. We see that it means it's really stabilized. So if we want this if we want the medical thing is going to be cheaper, so so we believe that it could be rich if the government take over this pharmaceutical industry. So for these two reasons, I believe that we should propose this motion. Thank you.
Thank you for the speech. The Prime Minister spent 7 minutes and 18 seconds. To respond to the case, we call the Leader of Opposition, Febri Aldiansyah. Time is yours.
Wait a minute, Kak. I have to trim my paper ya. Bentar. Well, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Well, panels and a member of the House, that we have to believe this motion is actually have to talk us and have to prove us that this motion actually will bring the accessibility and also the quality of these industries, such as like the such as like the medicine, the quality of the medicine, also and also how the managing well in the industry itself to give and good services for the nations of the society release and open. But here our negation for the first time that we state as our clarification that we are in the opposition team does not mean we are in the opposition team doesn't mean that we disagree nation or government have or take have a pharmaceutical industry, but that we disagree here that all pharmaceutical industry take by nation or government, ladies and gentlemen, such as like we don't agree that the pharmaceutical have to take off all the control, all the pharmaceutical industry in our nationalism. Because why? Because some the reason that we'll bring here to you that it is actually just bring any harms for the futures of this pharmaceutical industry, ladies and gentlemen. But then going to our stance here is actually why we have to oppose this motion is just because first we stand that this industry is we have to open this industry, and also we let the other pharmaceutical can be private as well, ladies and gentlemen. And also our argument why we don't have to when we don't have to believe in this motion, just because the first, it is unjustified. Why this is unjustified for the nation, for the government to do nationalize on the pharmaceutical industry itself. And also the second is how it works, can give the bad or can even give the harms for the society and also for the pharmaceutical industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here our argument. The first is about why this is actually unjustified for done for the of the government to nationalize the pharmaceutical industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. So the first is about yeah. The first, we have to avoid the monopoly, right, ladies and gentlemen. But then, going to through the argument that have already built by the prime minister, she said that how it works, the mechanism that take over of this pharmaceutical is by all the is the government will buy all the stock of that industry. It means that it means that the government itself having a or do the monopoly for its industry, right? Such as like they will take control or what product they have to buy and also what product they have to give to the society. It means that all the managings of this medicine or drugs have to based on the interest of the government, right? That we have to believe this is actually the government interest is actually not interest of society itself, because we do know that we believe that in the status quo right now the monopoly will be happen under research because some for some political issue and extra that will be given to my that will be explained into my second speaker, ladies and gentlemen. And also they told us about the benefit of this narration that will this pharmaceutical industry will be naturalized. They believe that it will be affordable or cheap for the society, ladies and gentlemen. But we don't just think about the affordable or accessibility for the society, but also we here believe that the quality have to be the first issue that we need to do, right? But, not just the accessibility themselves. Yeah, if they say that affordable accessibility will be happen over them, but the quality of the medicine or etc will not be happen under the house, ladies and gentlemen. Because what? Because the government does pay attention on the service itself, ladies and gentlemen. It means that they do not have any good resources on how to give a good quality to find or on any to buy any good resources, because all the powerful all the powerful men that take control on that industry are they who come from the government basic, like right, who come from the political basic background, not just not just in the specific background that we have believed this medicine, this pharmaceutical industry is the urgent or the important thing that we have to put not that we have to put attention more and more, ladies and gentlemen. Well, going then we then our under our side this by opposing this narration that pharmaceutical industry should be nationalized, it can avoid the monopoly at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Well, how then it can be happen? Because by also having open industry, the control of price will be balanced, ladies and gentlemen. If the OG told us that affordable or accessibility will not be happen under our side, we say no, ladies and gentlemen, because also the price will be balanced under our side. How it can be happen at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen? Because we know that by also having open industry, the control of price will be balanced, right? Which is reachable and affordable. Well, how it can be happen? Because the competition created from this open industry lead to betterment as well as to improve the condition like investment to find new drugs, incentive for further research in medical fields and etc. Right? And then how it works then, this competition created among the industrial pharmaceutical, it's when we can have competition, we are forced to survive to win the competition, right? It is better. The customer will have more advanced medical in the future as this competition create the better environment in, right? Well, the access of medicine will not, why we say that the competition is have to do in this industry or it is important and exclusive, because we do believe that when there is any good competition, it's such as like one pharmaceutical in a pharmaceutical industry have a expensive expensive cost, but the other one will make it cheaper, right? It means that it means that the competition among this industry will also be happen at the end of the day, will make the price various, and that it will affordable for any society here under our side, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the access of medicine will not be exclusive. The government can provide more accessible to society for better choice. They can afford and choose at the end of the day, right? By having open industry, the price will be competitive, like I said before. It leads to affordable, right? The availability will be varied, as many agents will also do some further research in medical provide to medicine in market in order to win the market, and it triggers for betterment of medicine, right? For example, for serious medical like HIV, so on and so forth, it requires expert to do research, right? It requires more people to make. It needs more collaboration to create. So having only national industry, the chance to make this will not happen because under a government side, the incentive is low as they don't generate profit oriented realization. They don't even care for fast advancement. It is bad because the demand of medicine have to progress as fast as the development of this disease. Moreover, the prevention of the future disease under government side is bad. So that is why we oppose this motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the speech. The leader of opposition spent 7 minutes and 46 seconds. To respond to the case, we call the Deputy Prime Minister. Fatma, the time is yours.
Before I begin, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, I'm gonna start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this House believes that the pharmaceutical industry should be nationalized. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is crucial to get vaccine right now, right? The background right now is that we know that how dependable we are to the private sector, and this is not good, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we propose this motion. And right now, the status quo right now is that only big company that handle this pharmaceutical industry, and we buy it for them, and so that if we put it, the thing is, if we put it to the private, it will benefit it will not benefit people. It will this private sector, the big company, the giant company will only benefit from people that is suffering. These people, our people that is suffering. That's the people that we want to share, that we want to protect the right of. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our main goal is that we want to prioritize human health over profit. That is the main goal of our proposal. And ladies and gentlemen, the government seems that dismiss my first speaker proposal. That is, so let me clarify it. How we are going to do that is by buying patent, and secondly, it will still use private researcher, and also the third one, it's going to be owned by the state and also managed by private. Well, this context is very possible because we already have the case of Bank Mandiri that is very well managed, ladies and gentlemen. So we already have the model, and we think that it is very possible to happen. That is our proposal that the government dismissed. Well, before I continue, a few rebuttals that the member that our opposition said that about monopoly. Well, monopoly, no way. We don't think so, because Bank Mandiri, just like what I said, is controlled by the state. BTN is controlled by the state. BNI is also controlled by the state. But they still compete perfectly. So their argument is bogus. Actually, ownership of diverse companies is still healthy. So let's dismiss that argument because that's baseless. Second thing, quality is assured by private style management, like in the state-owned banks I mentioned before. As my first speaker has already said, we, the state, will only own the majority of the shares, but the management will be like normal private companies, ladies and gentlemen. So about the quality, don't worry about that, okay? And the open government also failed to understand between public goods versus non-public goods. Health, like air, electricity, and roads, they should be public goods because health is public good. That's what we are protecting here, ladies and gentlemen. And let me give you to the context that this health is the interest of many people. It is public interest. Note that if in some product like non-public goods, like food, it may be privatized, but in public good, it must be controlled by the government because it could benefit even more people if we nationalize it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's move on to my point that what's the main problem. Why we think it's only going to be happen in our side of the house. It's because the main problem here right now in the status quo is that many private right now control this pharmaceutical industry, and especially in this time where we really need the vaccine, we depend so much to the private sector, and we say that it's not good, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you propose the motion, and this time especially it also increased the urgency to make it internationalized, right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and also the public health, just like PLN is public good, Pertamina is also public good. PLN control electricity and Pertamina control oil, and we say that by that kind of model, we also believe that pharmaceutical industry which control health problem is public good that should controlled by the government. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, why we believe that they cannot achieve the goal is because private competition can result in cartel, in which they can work together as conspiracy, and also to set the price. Well, ladies and gentlemen, no, thank you. Our main goal is that our purpose for the public welfare. We stand with the people, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk more about how is it really bad for privatization in general, and moreover, it's in the case of the public health, and in this case, if we're talking about pharmaceutical industry, that it will be private oriented, and second, it will raise the price, and also third, it will rise in corruption, and fourth, it lacks of transparency and also ambiguity. I'll go into my first point, that profit making. The sole aim of the private owner is to make a profit, and they try to attain it at any cost, be it by compromising the quality of the product, playing with the customer's emotions, or adapting other environments. So just to gain maximum profit, they compromise the quality of and opt for unfair means. Second, price rise, it will happen because in sectors where there is less competition or monopoly of a private owner, just like what is happening right now, like giant companies is owning them, we say that the consumer the consumer will get like a very high price, and the third, it will make the rise in corruption because private owners adopt various means to get their task accomplished. There are more and more cases of bribery, fraud, and others on the daily basis. They indulge in bribery, fraud, and various other such like ill practices. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that side of them may say that our government will be corruption, but note that corruption also happen in that side of the house, ladies and gentlemen. So that is not the reason. And also the last is that it lacks of transparency because in a democratic government, the public can question the government for the service provided by the public sector, and government is bound to show the clear picture. However, the private sector organizations are not bound by any such law, and thus there is lack of transparency. And also, it also show you the ambiguity because privatization has led to numerous choices in various sectors, as there are more and more options, ladies and gentlemen, being adapted to the market every day. The same product is sold at different forms and prices. That's why we are prioritizing our people needs and health, especially in right now health where it is one of the main important factors. We say that we stand with the people, and that's why it should be nationalized. The quality will be maintained because just like our proposal said that it will be owned by the state, but managed by the private, like Bank Mandiri and many other examples that has succeeded our proposal. That's why we are very proud to talk in the grand final. Thank you.
Thank you for the speech. The Deputy Prime Minister spent 7 minutes and 25 seconds. To respond to the case, we call the Deputy Leader of Opposition, Hamzah Hamdani. Time is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Cool. Okay, I will. It's my paper first. Okay. I'll start my speech on 3, 2, 1. At least to respond to the opposition bans, ladies and gentlemen. First is about their mechanism. They are simply say they will buy from the private, ladies and gentlemen. Even like they are already talk about, but there's a lot of the big private and how to buy that and which from where the money that should they buy, and there is any clear clarification and how and the legal law that will do to buy it, because and how if the private factory will not don't want to give to them to don't want to give their company to the government is not clear, ladies and gentlemen. Though their mechanism is cannot go any further again, ladies and gentlemen. And also about the price established, like it will be cheaper. For example, like PLN and Pertamina and BRI. Please not judge this kind of companies have a different business model, ladies and gentlemen, and also the research is also different, ladies and gentlemen, and cannot prove by the opposition bans, ladies and gentlemen, how it could also apply in the model of the pharmacy industry, ladies and gentlemen, and also about it will manage, ladies and gentlemen, and where the government take the control and that become the manage is the private and also how the hierarchy, how the control, how it's not will not take over by the private and so on, and so far it's not clear by the opposition bench, ladies and gentlemen. That's why all of their argument cannot go any further, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to my issue, ladies and gentlemen. At least I will bring two issue in my speech, ladies and gentlemen. How this narration if still keep first issue is it will work irrational, ladies and gentlemen. And the second issue is why pharmaceutical industry will bring harm if should take all of by the nation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to my first issue. It's why if will work irrational, ladies and gentlemen. Please, of course you already know, right, about the political issue when this pharmaceutical industry will take over by the national, ladies and gentlemen. How the political issue will still continue in our nation, right? How, for example, I'll show you the example. Like for example, Abde Slang simply support Jokowi and they become a commissaries right now, right? And also the principles, someone will take the control of become a leader in some industry or some industry. Should they have the talent, have the ability? Like this Abde Slang, there is no any capability and experience before how they control the telecom. Of course, this kind of example could be happen again in our in this pharmaceutical industry, right? Of course, this political issue is really urgent for us. Compared to our side, how is the nationalists not control all of to the pharmaceutical industry? This political issue will less happen in our side, and also the work of our pharmaceutical industry will be more rational compared to their side, ladies and gentlemen. It will achieve and work better and better in the future, because that become a leader is someone that based on their ability, based on their experiments, how to lead industry, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to my next issue is about why the pharmaceutical industry will bring harm if should take over all of by the nation, ladies and gentlemen. At least there is two layer in my speech about the how it will create. First layer is about create a supply chain toxic environment, and the second layer is how it will decrease the innovation, and the third layer is decrease the innovation, decrease the investment, ladies and gentlemen. First layer is about how it will create the supply chain toxic environment, ladies and gentlemen. When all of the pharmaceutical industry is controlled by the nation, ladies and gentlemen, of course, from the raw material, from the material until become the product, of course, all of the process will also follow by the BUMN too, right? From other company that by the nation. Of course, it will create the toxic environment when all of the process is just controlled by the government. Don't give any permission or time for other industry, for example, UMKM from obat-obatan and so on, to contribute from the process. Of course, it will that the other industry will that the other private industry, and that will create a bad impact for our environment, and will make a bad economic impact, right? And the second issue is the second layer is how it will decrease the innovation, ladies and gentlemen. In the government bench, all of the government bench, when when these are only controlled by the nation, right? Of course, the principle of innovation, you need the competition that you will have the maybe to compete each other and how it will collaboration. Please note in the government bench, there is no innovation will less happen under their side because on their side there is no competition or there is no some other industry, pharmaceutical industry that can to make a collaboration or to increase other things, right? And also in our side, the innovation and will more happen in our side because in our side we have some pharmaceutical industry where we can compete each other or we can collaboration each other. How will develop and increase the quality maybe and so on and so forth from the pharmaceutical industry and how it will impact to our future, right? Our future of our health in our nation will more better achieve because the innovation and all of the illness will more secure in our world, right? And also about the decrease, the second layer is about the decrease innovation, like what I talking about the how it's in their side is all of control by the government or nation. It will decrease the how they're irrational, of course, and also about this will decrease the innovation. Of course, the performance of the government of the industry will decrease, right? How the investment go there is will less happen because the investment is also something that we need, right? About how we will support the money is also important. And of course, on their side, the investment is less because no one want to invest them on their industry. And also the investment will more happen in our side where the leader is better based on their ability and so on. And also the innovation is always developed. Of course, a lot of people will want to invest their money to our industry. Of course, is the better industry will more achieve in our side. And also, but maybe about the pharmacy and so on, vaccine and so on and so forth, the government still could buy in our side and share to the public, right? And it's more cheaper. Maybe that's all from me. I beg you to propose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the speech. The Deputy Leader of Opposition has 5 minutes and 25 seconds to respond to the case we call the government member. For Nadia, time is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Great. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Opening government never gave you an in-depth analysis on why high prices are dangerous for society and why we should be pro-society. They only told you about the impacts that standardized national pharmaceutical companies are going to have, but they never showed you why it's so urgent. We're going to show you exactly why it's very urgent for this to happen here on closing government's case. Opening opposition told you that 1, cheap or standardized medicine is going to lower quality. They're telling you that a higher price means better quality, but opening opposition does not realize that there are many generic brands that have the exact same composition as exclusive brands. This doesn't mean that the cheaper brands are going to be better or worse than the more expensive brands. So this just comes to show that this is just another reason for pharmaceutical companies to increase the profit. Therefore, this argument fails. They also stated why political issues are going to exist on our side of the house, whereas we believe that they're only going to exist on the opposition side of the house because they are still going to be private companies that can be influenced by higher ups that have different kind of motives. This is where corruption can happen by these irresponsible people. And in our standardized world, no thank you, there is not going to be any political influence because it's already regulated by the government itself. We will also like to state our mechanism, that our mechanism is clear. We will make these companies a BUMN, where the model comes from government itself. Moving on, we believe that the problem here is that the pharmaceutical companies are a barrier to equal health access to people, especially in Indonesia. Therefore, our stance is clear that nationalizing pharmaceutical companies will make healthcare more accessible to all of society. And today we're going to prove why pharmaceutical companies will still be okay in the end whenever they are not private companies, and how this is going to benefit the people more. First, we need to characterize what pharmaceutical companies are like. First of all, they're private companies right now, and that run as a normal course corporate would, with a heavy burden on gaining profit. And the only benefits that you can get from these corporations are CSR programs. Why is this in itself dangerous? Here right now in the status quo, people are having a hard time accessing basic needs because of the fact they are expensive. For example, in Indonesia, we have a high number of diabetics that need insulin shots. But because government does not have control of the prices of these insulin shots, insulin does not become accessible for everyone. Therefore, we can see the disparity of our society where the richer people are able to access the insulin and the less fortunate people are struggling to get this kind of medication. Therefore, we see the urgency is that people need this to keep on living. This is exactly why government needs to be responsible for the prices of these medications. So what kind of problem does this put as a government? Because people are dying because of these preventive things. And what a government wants for their public health is to prevent things that can still be prevented. And this is specifically urgent here in Indonesia because we know that there's a burden of diseases. In other countries, they might only be focusing on non-communicable diseases because they already have better hygiene, better water, and they're already good at controlling the vectors. Here in Indonesia, we still have a problem with these hygiene things. We still have a problem with these communicable diseases because it's so dense here and because there's so many hygiene problems. Not to mention that these problems will also move on to the nutrition problems. We can see that Indonesia is number 2 for tuberculosis rates in the whole world. And this is exactly the kind of burden that we're looking at. We know that there are many layers of society that have a hard time accessing these adequate healthcare because of the prices. And when you are in opposition side, when you say that it's okay for them to raise the prices because of innovation or creativity, we believe that this is not even the basis of the argument today. So we see that the problem is clear and that the urgency of pharmacy companies to be nationalized is justified for the greater good of the people. Opposition might say, if government takes over, then this is going to hurt the business of pharmacy and make it unfair. But we will prove how taking over pharmacy companies will still support the business. This is exactly because the demand and supply will always be there. Healthcare is needed by everyone, so this industry will not die. They're not going to lose their profit just because they're being a part of the national standardization. And even if they have the CSR right now, when as private companies, they have CSR when they're giving back to society, this is further proof that there is no standardized benefit for everyone. Healthcare, the prices that people pay for healthcare are supposed to benefit everyone, but right now in opposition's world, they're only profiting for themselves. So right now, the status quo is that opposition no, thank you. Companies can choose how much to give back to the people through whatever CSR program that they have. But in government, companies are already giving to the greater good. We can see this kind of system already being implemented in the UK, where the National Health Service, or NHS, is a socialized healthcare where it's funded by taxpayers. This is why their prices are non-existent. Everyone has equal access to healthcare, and having it being funded by taxes doesn't put the double burden where people already pay taxes for their country and pay high prices for the medication. We can see that right now, people in Indonesia are paying taxes and they're paying for high prices. They might say that because, the opposition might say that because we are standardized under a national company, then everything is going to become cheap and everything is going to become low quality. But this actually proves that because there's no competition in our status quo, if this happens to be nationalized, everyone already knows to go to the government for medications and healthcare. There will be no more need to go to different kind of companies because everyone will go to the one government because of the fact that they have the standardized prices. Opposition is going to tell you that competition is essential in this debate because this is what will make the quality better. But we believe that the best quality is going to be exclusive to our house because of the fact that we have the standardization, because everyone has regulated prices and that there are not going to be various types of medicine. And this, there's only going to be the type that is the national standard. And if there's only one type, which is the national standard, then this means that everyone's going to be accessing the same exact product. So you might be thinking, this is only going to be happening right now. And what will this do in the future? Number one, it's going to increase the health of our country that is clearly a problem as of right now. And you can see that countries like the US that don't have a standardized national healthcare are also burdening society with the high prices of their products and with a low satisfaction to their healthcare itself. We don't want to be like the US. We want to be like the healthcare that they implement in the UK, which is the NHS. So to have a better healthcare, which is currently one of, like the UK, which is currently one of the best out there, this is going to be our goal in the future. And we believe that this is only exclusive to our government's case, because this is exactly how we're going to prove that the prices can still be controlled. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the speech. The government member spent 7 minutes and 20 seconds responding because we call the opposition member Anissa Nur Aziza. Time is yours.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Well, I'm going to start from 3, 2, 1. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to rebuttal the argument for the government team. So the first one is, they said that they want to compare with the BNI and BRI. They come really perfectly because they take over to be nationals or to be BUMN. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a different side. This is really different because pharmacy industry isn't like only for the business itself, but pharmacy industry is for the humanity too. So if you think that they can come to perfectly because it's different and it's come to from about money, if you think about the bank like BNN and BRI and so on, so it's different. And
Wait a
pharmacy
minute.
industry itself also.
Wait a minute, member of opposition. Oh, sorry. Your voice is echoing so much. We cannot hear you clearly. Menggema antara bunyi microphone and yeah, it just.
Okay, how about this?
Okay, it's better now.
So, okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, in the pharmacy industry, they are big company. They are covering a lot of aspects, not only about the business as money and so on. And it's different side, and it's also different treatment with the BNI and BRI and so on, ladies and gentlemen. So we cannot compare with that. And then also, the government team say that if they take over by government, they will prioritize the citizen. So it's the same like you wanna say if the pharmacy industry didn't take over by nationalists or they still become private, you wanna say that they are gonna ignore the citizen and will ignore the humanity? No, they still prioritize the citizen, like citizen, ladies and gentlemen, because it's also part of their business. It's also part of their goal. If our government, if our citizen being helped, if our government welfare, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to say that if it not take over by government or take over by nationals, they were gonna ignore citizen. No, it's a big no, ladies and gentlemen. And the next also that the government say that they will. If it's take over a nationalist by government, they will know where they go, where they seek. They will go to the government or to go to BUMN or go to a government if they seek, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's a different aspect, ladies and gentlemen, because if every single people they sick, they will go to hospital and they cover like that. They don't even think they will think this is private or this is state industry. No. They were gonna just wish the best medical job for them. So that's different strategy. And also the government say that it's gonna if it's not be nationalist, it has possibility they to increase the price and they can make the inflation and so on and so on. And if our government take over it and be nationalist, the price can be controlled and so on. No, ladies and gentlemen, because they're gonna monopolize itself. They're gonna make it they're gonna have a possibility the pharmacy company will use them for country for make economic recovery. They're gonna make a pharmacy company will be used for the country economic recovery, whereas the pharmacy must prioritize the human side. So it's gonna have possibility is our government wanna make the pharmacy company just to make money. So it's really since ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to my argument why I totally disagree with this motion. Why I still stand for pharmacy industry should not be nationalized and to still private like before. So the first one is if our if pharmacy industry will be nationalized, it can make they can be limited their income. Why? Because their income just only come from tax. Ladies and gentlemen, if it's come from BUMN, automatically their income just from tax itself, tax or pajak. So if it be nationalized, it will limited income for pharmacy industry and stuff. Whereas they need a lot of budget. They need a lot of budget to run business. Like if our government cannot provide all the budget, little by little the pharmacy will collapse. As we know, the pharmacy is an industry that scope with the production, trading, distribution, import-export activity about medical. And then also, and the next is, if they need a lot of budget, but what happens if our government cannot cover it? The impact is the government will take debt. And also it can make the debt of our country increase and over. So it can make the inflation and the price of medical health or medical drug gonna increase too. It's gonna make inflation. So the impact of the future is the price of the medical drug will increase too or hike too. So that's why if our government take over, it's gonna have possibility to the price of medical gonna hike. And the next is, as we know that the pharmacy industry is overcome or tackle aspect of the minds of scientists take from their idea and is from scientist contribution to make formula based on the reality that happen right now. So the pharmacy industry is not about the business making drug and so on, but also this is content of distribution of our scientists to make formula and drug and so on. So that's why it's the government cannot cover it. The government cannot do it. If our government do that, they're gonna limit it, the production, the activity of pharmacy itself. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna make medical health in Indonesia gonna worse and worse. And the next is if pharmacy industry be nationalized, make government politizes industry itself, they have possibility to corruption and so on. And that's why it need to be private. And I disagree with that. If they politicize the pharmacy industry itself, and also they can decrease the contribution of pharmacy. And the next is, ladies and gentlemen, rather than we nationalize the pharmacy industry, better we donate it. We donate and support our country by giving them donate like medical equipment, medical drug, and so on, and also support them by giving training and more medical equipment and so on. It's better rather than make them nationalists. If you wanna make it our medical industry, our medical side gonna better and better, ladies and gentlemen. As we know, post COVID-19, the campaign shot it fell down because of the government take down the government nationalize the pharmacy. So it gives bad impact for medical industry. So that's why I totally oppose with this motion. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for this speech. The opposition members spent 7 minutes and 34 seconds to respond to the case we call the government whip. Time is yours, Mela.
Okay, I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. First of all, I want to declare that even if pharmacy industry is taken and owned by the government but still managed by the private company, it was already explained in the opening government. But what we want to prove to you is how it is would become ultimate solution for the country to fight the crisis and to continue the urgency into a large to provide, or what is the urgency in a larger scope. first of all is I want to declare that eventually this what gives the country an advantage in which it wouldn't bring a harmful for the private pharmacy itself. But I will explain it much further in my argument. First, the things we want to this vulnerable situation in this pandemic is to have a source where it could makes our citizen reach that source or reach that direction faster, safer, and in one solution and in one mechanism that's already been explained by my partner. And this must hold by the government, since the government itself is the source of all things for the citizen. And this would be harmful if there is no direction for our citizen to know the mechanism to know the mechanism that they would use by using the pharmacy in the time of crisis like this. And also the second, this would progressing the fight against crisis like pandemic nowadays, because we need a certain sources, like I've said before, to provide that in a better pharmacy industry, so that our citizen would definitely gain this directly, just like what I've said before. And this was increasing the services by the government. And first, I want to rebut some from the opposite side. They say that this is unjustified for not nationalize the pharmacy industry. No, because we have laws in which it is protecting the pharmacy industry itself. Government of our country even obligated provide private pharmacy industry a certain requirement for them to exist or to accessible for our citizen, and it would be backlashing the idea of existence for the private industry itself. At the first place, in the crisis of pandemic, nor in the future, it won't be happen in our it won't be done by the government, because the vulnerability in our country is high. We doesn't want to do that because the good things that they would gain is not what for the country itself, and we don't want to risk the citizen or even our country or even the private pharmacy that gives and helps the citizen. We think that the government missing the idea of nationalize at the first place, but in our side this is justified, because how to protect the people, we have to making a progressing towards the pandemic crisis, and this is justified to make the private nationalize the private company. And and they also say that this wouldn't give them this would just makes them have an income for the taxes, for example. No, because in our status quo, like Kimia Pharma, they also doing the export, import, and expansion towards another country. And this is doing by the private pharmacy itself, and just in a surveillance by the government. So we guess we think that was not a main problem. And also the worst scenario that the opposite side trying to frame us is by assume government would doing an evil act by monopolizing a pharmacy industry, while the reason behind this motion is to mix the existence and the cooperation and in one order to our country, and this won't be harmful, because government themselves is in need with this certain area, and in this vulnerable situation, country won't have a courage for doing it, because first problem that need to be solved first is this pandemic crisis. And even if they monopolize it in the worst case scenario, the main problem it exists in a certain people, not about the term of nationalizing the private company itself. And also what this would bring us and also why this won't bring the pharmacy industry harmful things. Why does this not what being harmful for them, and why joining the government and at the end of the day would eventually benefit them. First, they could gain trust and could access a lot of aspects in the society. This may be happen in the status quo, but the truth is within the private pharmacy industry, it is makes them be able to make their industry become a giant or become expansion, like what I've explained before, and even approach other region in our country more effectively, since the government itself hold lots of infrastructural, for example, or transportation, for example, and the help from the government is there. Doesn't mean that the government only just have a power over them, but to also cooperate with them and help them in order for the distribution for the government itself at the end of the day. And the second, the business that they do still live in even if the government taking control. Why? Because the things that would benefit them is the existence of integrated health, right? This also what giving a progress within an expansion that explained before, that expands their business in a global market, because the goal is to strengthen the national pharmacy industry, to strengthen their job as a pharmacy industry, and creating innovation together to supply pharmacy products to support pharmacy ecosystem in the future. So because of that, we are proudly to propose. Thank you.
Thank you for the speech. The government will spend 7 minutes and 8 seconds responding and close this debate. We call the opposition whip. Eka Arifah Safitri, time is yours.
Wait, for that, please make sure one of your teammates turn off the microphone to make sure that your voice is not echoing like what your teammate did before. Salah satu mic-nya dimatiin ya, karena suaranya jadi menggema, ada dua gitu.
Okay.
Alright.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the opposition whip from the closing opposition. Totally disagree about this motion today. This house believes that pharmaceutical industry should be nationalized. Before that, I would like to rebut the Prime Minister argument. The first argument is pandemic COVID-19 is a terror. We urgently need medicine and should buy to use it. And she also said that we want to make it better. So I think the Prime Minister did not understand that the COVID-19 vaccine is buy from the overseas, ladies and gentlemen. And the second one is Prime Minister say that don't be worried because it will handled by the government. How you can be so positive? So how you can be so sure that the government will handle well the pharmacy industry? While in Indonesia, there are a lot of things that shall be handled. For example, like COVID-19 and vaccine itself. And the third one, if takeover, government will prioritize the citizen. Are you sure that our government will prioritize the citizen if they take over the pharmacy industry like that? And the last one, when we want a medicine to be cheaper, it is better to take over the industry like gas and petrol. How can do the gas and petrol getting cheaper day by day, even though they are in the government, they are nationalized, ladies and gentlemen. And from the Deputy Prime Minister say that it is important to get vaccine right now. Yes, it's true. It is important to get vaccine right now, but the government buy the vaccine from overseas, not from the Indonesia pharmacy industry, ladies and gentlemen. And the second one, we want to prioritize human health. How about a citizen that they don't want to pay the tax if so if they don't want to pay the tax, they will not fulfill the pharmacy income, and how the government will provide it to make a medicine, ladies and gentlemen. Bank, and then the third one, bank turns perfectly by the government and already taken from the private industry, ladies and gentlemen. And how you know that Mandiri, BTN, BRI runs perfectly while they are nationalized, ladies and gentlemen? The Deputy Prime Minister didn't make it clear of that. And the last one is, if the government only prioritize the human health, do the citizen also aware about do they contribute through pay and the tax? Because we know that in Indonesia, people is so hard to pay the tax, ladies and gentlemen. And from the member of opposition that say that the model come from the government. Yes, the model come from the government. That the government model is also come from the society, from the our citizen who pay the tax itself. But we know that people is so hard to pay the tax. They don't really care about the tax itself. And the second one, people in Indonesia, comparing to UK, that the people is paying the tax normally. Do people in Indonesia have the same behavior to the UK people? Do they pay the tax normally? I think this is it is not the same comparison to the United Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to clarify the leader opposition itself. Leader opposition said that opening opposition doesn't mean that we are disagree. And the second one is harm for the society and its country. And leader opposition said that through separating from national company, it will separate us from monopoly. And there are a lot of monopoly and political issue. And the last one, government will just concern about the service, not about the quality. And then from the deputy leader opposition itself, he said that it will be toxic if it's handled by the government, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to strengthen my member of opposition state about this motion today. So she said that pharmacy is for humanity, that containing a lot of aspects. Yes, it's true. If the pharmacy is for humanity, so we don't need to be nationalized, ladies and gentlemen. So when we are nationalized, it will make income for pharmaceutical industry decrease, because we believe that people in Indonesia didn't really want to pay the taxes to fulfill the income for the pharmaceutical industry, ladies and gentlemen. And the second one is citizen will not thinking about whatever is public, is private, they will choose the best medicine. Yet it's true, ladies and gentlemen, in Indonesia, we don't really thinking about whether it is private, whether is it public industry or not. We will still buy the medicine for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And the fourth one is if it nationalized, it will decrease their income, like what I said before, ladies and gentlemen. And the last one is pharmacy is not about making a medicine, but more to get a new medication, ladies and gentlemen, and also innovation. So rather than we nationalize, better we donate and make a training, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I would like to share the fact about what's happening nowadays. Post COVID-19, the stock has decreased after the government take over the pharmacy in this post COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen. And then the another fact is national company income from the tax. So if the income itself has average or low income, it will not effective in producing pharmaceutical industry, ladies and gentlemen. And the second one is fact that Indonesia citizen not really contribute to pay the tax. Like what I said before, Indonesian citizen is so hard to pay the tax itself. And the third one, the fact number three, in producing pharmacies medicine, we need scientists' contribution to formulate the medication. If income go into the country itself, it will make them harder to get the new innovation, ladies and gentlemen. So as the opposition, we totally disagree about this motion today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opposition whip that spent 7 minutes and 34 seconds. And that was our last speaker and the end of our debate. And thank you for all of the participants. And Eju?
All right, we're going to discuss the result very soon in breakout room. So please, grand finalists, just wait in the main room. We're going back to the champion announcement and also best speaker announcement in the end of this competition. So yeah, thank you for the interesting debate, everyone.
Oke, Kak.
Woo! Here.
Wow.
Nice,
Bagus
guys.
tadi debatnya.
How is you guys feeling?
Hungry, Kak.
Huh? Hungry?
Let's play music maybe.
Actually, this is still live on YouTube, so that maybe there are something copyright, so we cannot play any music, I guess.
Okay, noted.
So I just say
Lagu
sorry.
koplo aja.
No, I guess.
Harus win aja nggak
There
copyright.
is no copyright. There is no copyright. Of koplo song.
Actually, we can play any march from our institution, so that.
I think no. That really make me.
Okay, so that let's take a rest for the participant while we waiting about the announcement about who is the champion of the debate today. So let's wait, and for you guys who still watch in YouTube, please wait until the jury catcher come and give the announcement. Thank you.
Oke, Kak. Anyway, foto yang kemarin kapan di-share ya? Si.
In the end of the day, inshallah.
Sorry.
Also made a video of you just in case you want to post something.
Hah? No. Just for no.
Yeah.
No.
I guess your point, I guess.
With Instagram filter, therefore the beautification exists.
Ya Allah.
Gimmick Instagram.